Hello everybody and happy Friday. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I thought it was high time that I came in for a chatty update video about what I'm currently reading, but most importantly right now, what I'm crocheting. Because I realized I've mentioned frequently that I've been working on crochet projects, but I haven't shown you anything. And guys, I have been super obsessed with some things for the past 4 or 5 months. It's high time that I showed you something. So I have a bunch of things lined up here. I'm gonna do a little show and tell at the beginning of this, and then I'm gonna talk about what I'm currently reading at the end. So if you don't care about the arts and crafts section, I'll try to remember to put a timestamp for you to skip this bit. But if you're here to see what I'm working on as well, thank you. Let's get into it. The most bookish crochet project that I'm working on right now is this. This is my book blanket, or my reading tracker project, where I have color-coded for genres, and every row of this Afghan is equal to 2 books. You may be wondering why I did it that way. It's because when I calculated my gauge that I was working at, with the pattern size and how many books that I read per year, I realized that if I did 1 row per book, I would end up with 2 Afghans. So yeah, I'm working with half rows because of that. So you can kind of see where I switch colors in the middle of a row and stuff. So for right now, I have red is science fiction. It's my favorite color, and it's the genre I want to read most of, so I want it to be the predominant color in this. The dark gray, which looks pretty black on the camera, is for nonfiction. The kind of light mauve color is miscellaneous or other, though right now most of that is poetry. And if I had known that I would be reading so much poetry this year, I would have chosen this color for poetry and done a different color for other, because other is going to have so many books in it. The cream color is young adult or middle grade. Yes, I know those are not genres, but it's what I wanted to track. The brownish gold color is fantasy. I thought that went really well with the red color, and I read a lot of those in conjunction with each other. And then this kind of burgundy or wine color, it's kind of hard to see it, that is for collections and anthologies. And right now I'm debating what to do with mysteries. I had to go out to Hobby Lobby and get some more yarn because I was running out of a couple of colors, and I thought, I started to read mysteries again this year. I should have a color for mysteries. So I grabbed a green because this is the way my brain works. Obviously I need to use green for mystery because the standard really common library label on mystery books is green. Only when I got it home, I wasn't thinking, and I don't know if it's gonna work with the color palette that I have here. Like, I feel like this is a very cool color, and it's very different. I don't have anything else in this like color family, and these are pretty warm and dark. So if I use green, I'm not gonna be reading that many mysteries. It's just gonna be used relatively little in this, and will it look weird? I don't know. The thing is that if I use it and I don't like it, it's really hard for me to rip this back and redo the whole thing. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It's finally big enough that it actually looks like an actual project. It was this little skinny thing for a long time, but this is all of my January and February reading and about 2/3 of what I've read so far in March. So I'll be catching up with the final rows for March probably in the next Stitch and Bitch live show, which is gonna be, what is that, the Sunday, the last day of the month? Yeah, the 31st, I think, over on Raya's channel, The Bookfinch. More details to come. So yeah, this is a thing that's gonna take me all year to do, which is very weird because most crochet projects that I do them intensely fast. Because once I start on something, once I've decided that I want something and I have to make it, absolutely nothing gets in my way until I'm done making it. This is a part of my personality that I'm not sure if it's a strength or a flaw. I am embracing it. So, some other things. You may have seen some pictures of these on Instagram. If you follow me over there, I tend to share more of what I'm working on as I'm doing it on Instagram rather than here on YouTube. But I made this Lost in Time shawl. It's a free shawl pattern that's incredibly popular over on Ravelry. I'll try to remember to link some of these things down below as I'm talking about them. So I made this as kind of a test. I wanted to work with this particular yarn. I don't have it over here with me. It's the Red Heart Unforgettable stuff you can find at Michael's, and it's really soft and fuzzy, and it does that nice striping thing that gives the pattern more definition. It's a very textured shawl as well. It has these popcorn stitches and stuff in it, and it's so beautiful. So this I made with 3 skeins of yarn, and it's pretty small for a shawl. I love it, but I was trying to wear it the other day before blocking it. I still need to block it, and I realized that I like my shawls to be on the medium to large size. So I've asked my friend Chris if she wants this because she thought it looked really cool. I'll probably send it to her if she says yes. And I've already bought yarn, more of it this time, to make myself this again, but in a larger size because, yeah, you can never have too many shawls. And an old project, I did this back in January, I think, and I still haven't finished it off. It is this shawl. It's made with a very fine yarn, the finest yarn I've ever used, and it's a Malabrigo yarn, so this was really expensive, but I bought the yarn especially for this project. It's the Virus shawl. It's another very popular free pattern you can find on Ravelry and stuff. It's incredibly easy to do once you memorize the repeats. Let me pull this a bit closer so you can see that. I love this so much, and it's quite a lacy and lightweight shawl. It's perfect for spring, and I think the colors are also perfect for spring. I still haven't tied it off. I did this granny square variation on the bottom of it, and I think it looks okay now, but I was really not sure for a while, so I still haven't snipped the yarn off of it. But my goal this weekend is to block this one as well as the Lost in Time shawl and be done with them because I want to wear this one so badly. I'm going to another symphony concert in April, and I think it would be really cool to wear this. If I have any clothing that would go with it, that would be perfect. The theater is pretty chilly sometimes. And then we have the stuff that, I don't know if this is actually crochet or not, but kinda, yeah, I mean, you use a crochet hook, but use other things as well. So like I said, I tend to get very intense about things. I'll see something that I want very badly, and then I will drop everything to learn how to make it, and then to make it like in a couple of days or less. And this is what happened to me recently with seeing this like braided infinity scarf. I forget where I saw it first, maybe on Ravelry, maybe on YouTube, maybe on Instagram, but I was like, I want one of those. I really want one of those. I don't actually own an infinity scarf. So I found the pattern for one of them on Ravelry and discovered that you make it with a hairpin lace loom. It's like hairpin lace crochet, and I've never heard of this in my life, but I wanted one so badly. I asked my mom, do you have a hairpin lace loom? And she's like, yes, do you want to borrow it? Because of course she has this thing I've never heard of. So I made one, it's done, and this is what it looks like when it's all pulled apart. So basically you create these strips. This is the loom, but I'm making something else on it. You have the loom set to the whitest setting, and you just wrap the yarn around it, and you like do a crochet stitch up the middle. So you have these very long strips. It's crocheted down the middle, and it has loops on either end. And then you hook the loops through each other to create the braided effect. And it was so easy to do. It looks really complicated, but the entire thing, once I had the strips of loops made, which really only took me like 4 or 5 hours total of time to do, putting it together was like 30 minutes or less, and I love it so much. This is so soft. I used the same yarn that I did for the Lost in Time shawl, Red Heart Unforgettable. I think this is the color that's called Echo, and I like it the best. My Michaels here in town has an abysmal yarn section. It's never fully stocked, and it's just, they never have what I want, or they don't have enough of what I want. So So anyway, I made this and I had so much fun using the Hairpin lace loom that I thought I would try to do something else in that vein. And that's what I'm doing right now on it here. This is actually, the pattern is a broomstick lace scarf, and this is just my test. Technically you use a broomstick or a very large knitting needle to create these loops, but I actually just modified the Hairpin lace loom to get the same effect. And it's working so far, as you can see. This is just the leftover yarn I had from doing the other scarf. I have an extra skein of this yarn, which I'm gonna do the actual scarf in now that I have practiced somewhat. But it looks so fancy and lacy, but it's really quite simple to do. And it's addictive. Like, now that I figured out how to do this, it's all I want to do. This is when I kind of wish I had Netflix again, because I could sit there for hours watching, like, I don't know, Father Brown or something on Netflix and make a whole scarf. But instead I have audiobooks. But anyway, that's it for the crochet update. I'm very happy, and I'm gonna be getting back to this this evening. And that leads me to what I'm reading. So first of all, I have the audiobook of Vengeful by V.E. Schwab that I need to listen to. My loan on Overdrive is about to end, so I need to get through that pretty quickly. I am also reading / listening to Tripoint by C.J. Cherryh. I'm reading it in print when I have time, but I'm also listening to the audiobook version when I'm working on something else, and my hair is all over everything today. So yeah, this is one of the Company Wars books. I just finished Hellburner earlier today, and it was alright. I felt like it really petered out for me. Tripoint has started off with a bit of a bang. It's got some real emotional fraught tension in it, actually, and I'm pretty interested, even though I am not enjoying the fact that rape is pretty much the main motivation of the plot and how all the situations come together in this. I don't like that very much. But otherwise I'm enjoying it. And in print, I am reading a couple of things. I am about 2/3 of the way done with How Long Till Black Future Month by N.K. Jemisin, which is her short story collection that came out in November, I think. I am buddy reading this with Maya. We're holding each other accountable. We're going to finish it in March. And I've been really enjoying this. I just hadn't read that much of Jemisin's short fiction before, so almost all the stories in this are completely new to me. And while there are a couple that are just not my kind of thing, there have been some really excellent ones in this, so I'm itching to finish it now. I've kind of got my momentum up, and I'm trying to keep to the schedule that Maya and I have, but I want to just go on ahead and keep reading. But yeah, this one's been good. A little while ago, I started The Doomed City by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky. I feel like this one might get shelved for a while though. I finished it while I was still kind of on a high after finishing Hard to Be a God, because I enjoyed that book so much and it was quite quick to read. But I read the first section of The Doomed City and I set it aside, and it just hasn't been calling my name since, so I think I'm not in the mood for it anymore. We'll see when I pick it back up. I may have to go back on the shelf over here. And then on ebook, I am about halfway through Devotions by Mary Oliver, which is a collection of selected poems. It's a very large collection. It's like 450 pages long, and most of the collections I've read by her before have been quite short, like 100, 120 pages. This contains selections from many of her previous collections, and I'm really enjoying it, but some of them have been more hit or miss for me. Maybe I'm reading them too fast. It's a lot of poetry and I've been reading it quite quickly, and I feel like some of the poems just have been running together in my head, especially topic-wise or thematically. I need to take it more slowly. And then I haven't started reading it yet, but I finally got my hold in on Fleet of Knives by Gareth Powell. Braid freeze moment. This is the sequel to Embers of War, and I really enjoyed that book. I'm really looking forward to the sequel, and I should be starting that pretty soon as well, because I think it will be a really quick read like the first book was. And lastly, haven't started reading it, but I want to. This is I Live With You by Emshwiller, and it is a short story collection. I don't know why, I read the introduction of this a couple days ago, by, who wrote the introduction? Eileen Gunn. Anyway, I read the introduction and thought, man, I really need to start reading this collection. So I may dive into this as well. I will slow down on reading Jemisin's collection by reading these stories instead so I don't get too far ahead of Maya. So yeah, I may also start a bunch of other books because I'm thinking about doing another Try a Chapter Tag on-haul edition this weekend. Saturday is supposed to be a pretty cloudy, rainy, dreary day, and I may try to bake bread again and just do a Try a Chapter Tag. Or it's not really a tag anymore, is it? Whatever you want to call that. I have 5 books picked out from my physical TBR that I just honestly don't know if I want to read them anymore, so it's time for another on-haul edition of that type of video. I did one of those in the fall last year, and it was a very effective way of unhauling books when I realized I just wasn't into them anymore. So that may be what I film over the weekend. So hopefully this wasn't too rambling, but I just really felt like talking about random stuff today, so it probably is. Let me know what you are up to. What are you working on if you have any projects ongoing? What are you reading right now? I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be back to talk to you again soon. And until then, bye.